Hi, my name is Stefan, and by trade I'm a carpenter, and we are here on our family's property. In the back you can see the sawmill of my dad. He's in the 4th generation, and yeah, I've started living here a few years ago with my own workspace, and now we're sitting on the rooftop of my self-built tiny house. So from up here we have a great view on the property and what's going on. As already mentioned, there's the sawmill. It's in the 4th generation. My dad is still working on it part-time. And in the back you can see a woodshed, which was just storage space previously, and now I have my workshop in there. Behind it there's this small pond where there's a fish cultivation right now. So this property consists of basically 2 sides which are divided by this road, but it's the same property. And it's interestingly enough also in a way separate. You know, my dad's working over here, I'm working over here and creating here. I don't think it's by chance, and the long-term idea is to see how can we make this come together. That's a deep dive question right in. Who am I? This is not very easy to answer. I like to create things, so I'm a creator for sure. I think I'm a space creator, if you want so. Different kinds of spaces, like physical, but also, you know, as people come together, or learning spaces. So, yeah. So until recently there was a crane standing right here. And having this removed also changes a lot of the space. It's more open, more free now. I've been waiting for this moment a long time. It was just standing there. We had no use of it. It was broken. So I like when things are functional and nice and neat. And this was not neat and not functional, so I'm happy now this is sorted. I think it started with a time when I basically withdrew the ground underneath me, which put me into a mediocre, severe depression. So I quit my studies, I quit my relationship, and I moved out of home. And being in a mental and emotional space where there's no ground and you question basically life and everything. I think that's where it all started. And also reading books. It was basically the same time I started reading books, and they offered a perspective onto life that was new to me. And I think that was the starting point of it all, yes. And if you look back from it, depression sounds bad, but it was necessary for me to kind of step out of the film I was in, you know. It was necessary for me to stop going the path that I was just walking on. I'm not sure when exactly this was built, but I think in the 60s. So yeah, this is kind of spooky also. Not the most nice place to hang out, but just needs to work, right? So yeah, I just want to give a short explanation on what's happening here. Yes, it's a sawmill, meaning you get the round wood, the tree stem, in. And then we lift it over here into the center lane where you have the cutting machine, if you want, so I don't know the proper name of it. And they roll through here. You can You can add as many blades as you want in here, whatever kind of dimension you need. And then on the other side, you get the final product, rectangular wood for building, construction, and yeah, it's pretty simple. There's a planer, there's a machine to cut the live edges off, and that's about it. Very simple, very basic. It works. And I haven't been here much as a kid. I didn't quite like it. Also, my dad hasn't really pushed us to come here, which is nice. I'm grateful for that he wasn't forcing us to help and work. So we were free to do so or not. I want to mention what is special is that the family that I come from is, as you can actually see on his cap, the last name is Lip, and it's dated back to 1386, the history of this family. And just recently I have started to understand that where I'm coming from, I'm actually deeply rooted in this area, and that's something that comes with lots of power and gives me strength. And also, yeah, there's lots happened, and you have to also deal with that, I guess. This place has also experienced quite tragic moments, so these are all parts of life of this place, and I'm trying to integrate all of it in while going forward. Yeah. So when we talk about stepping forward, it's pretty clear that this place is not gonna stay the way it is and be operated in this way, because I mean the machines work, but they're old and it's not very lucrative as a business. So you would have to invest quite a lot to compete with other sawmills around, and I'm not very keen and passionate enough to do that. So I'm thinking of ways how to use this space in a way that is still in alignment with where I come from and this place comes from, but in a direction that is more in alignment with my values and the future. So the main idea right now I have is something I picked up from Sweden, from Egnahemsfabriken, which translates to own home, kind of, yeah, build your own home place. So it's a place where there's everything you need, the facilities, the space, the machines. If you want to build your own home, you can come here and realize this project. It's about people who want to work on their own home and don't have the space and machines for it or the knowledge. So you can come here and let's say I need help with planning, so you get help with planning. I need help with building the exterior walls. I need help with whatever. So it's basically a small-scale, lightweight, co-creative construction company. It's not you give a contract to someone and a company finishes it, but you can participate in it. And so we work together and create your very own unique project. And I like the spirit of, you know, realizing individual projects, and you have the opportunity to be part of this creational process, which I think we're lacking in building homes especially. So building a home is something that we as human beings have done forever, but we've kind of lost touch in the way we're doing it because we're not participating anymore, not putting our hands into the process ourselves, the homes that we create for ourselves. And I think that's a very nice feeling to know what you have done in your own home. I mean, I've experienced this myself with the tiny house. It's a completely different feeling being in a space you know you have created or co-created. So I want to give an opportunity for people who want to do exactly this. And we are in the process of, I'm right now in the process of making this vision I'm in the process of sharing this vision. I've for now kept it for myself, and I want to bring in people who like the idea. I want to get support and see how can we step forward, not with the intention it has to be this kind of way, but to see if I go with that, what comes from life? How is it going to evolve? I want it to evolve naturally. And the next step is going to be share this project idea, this vision, amongst a group of people who can give their input to it. I think it comes from knowing how it feels myself. The ability to build something, to create something is very empowering. And I want to share this empowering experience with people so that they don't feel so much dependent on, for example, construction companies which ask for a lot of money. It's expensive, so it's stressful for them. We have to work a lot, blah, 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 blah. So self-empowerment is basically the main key. So yeah, this is kind of the centerpiece of this side of the property, the more living side, which I landed in 2019, 20, something like this. And it's changed a lot. Yeah, as I said, it was only grass in the shed here. It basically started out with me putting in place a workshop for myself, which we can have a look at. And while I consider myself a rather tidy person, this place is definitely kind of a mess right now, which is bugging me for sure, but at the same time, I do not have the capacities to take care of it at this point in time. I'm just handling many different things at once, and this has to be taken care of later. It's very basic. As I said, it was wood storage like you see over here everywhere. And I asked my dad if I can have half the shed for myself, build a workbench, installed some machines, they've become better with time. And from this space, I have built my tiny home with some few parts that I have done in another workshop, but most of it has happened here. Which is, when I think back of it, it's quite fascinating how I managed with the tools I had, the limited tools I had. So this workshop and just storage space for personal stuff as well. And that's the thing, when people think you live in a tiny house, yes, you have very limited space, but you do have to have a secondary space and a shed or something where you can store things that do not need to be in a heated home. I have more space than most people if you include this. I just have a very small living space that needs to be heated and stuff, yeah. And things I'm working on right now, this is a table for my mom for the garden. She's wanted a big table for a long time, happening on the side. Then these wooden picture frames and mirrors. They are made from reclaimed barn wood. I helped a friend take it down and asked if I can have it. And then recently I came up with the idea to make picture frames and sell them, and it's actually working. People love them. Sell them on Etsy. It's nice work on the side. I get an order, I produce some, send them. It's a very convenient side income that I started building up. Yes, creative projects like this. It's sometimes hard to juggle all these different things that are going on and prioritize them in different times. So I've started this, but it's sitting here for weeks unfinished, and like, this is calling me, please finish me. It's a bit of annoying, but things take time. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe we can look at this installation over here. as I'm not connected to the water supply of the city, I had to come up with my own solution. So I collect rainwater in this big tank, and with a pump and some pre-filters, I run it through to the house. And this shell has the function of preventing it from freezing, because it does freeze in winter. So I have a very small compacted space to heat up simply. Yeah, that's very recent. I didn't have that before. Still worked. Tank froze a few times. Pipes broke, was annoying. And that's things you have to be willing to deal with if you live this kind of lifestyle. Like, I'm improvising a lot. I make up things on the spot, and things sometimes don't work, and you have to fix it. And I've definitely had times where I'm like, why the fuck do I not have running water? And it's annoying. At the same time, when it's working again, you know where it comes from, you know the work that's in there, and it's just a different connection to, in this case, the source of water. If you just open a tap, you do not see the effort and what's behind it, where it's coming from. I have to wait for rain to fill this tank. There's been times where there was no rain, the tank was empty, I didn't have running water. So being aware, yeah, it's not just an unlimited resource that we can have. It makes you appreciate it definitely a bit more. And a few years ago we opened up this hole in the wall with a door to connect the shed with the garden, which we found is not a bad place to hang out. I think actually that was an idea of my brother and mom or someone. So we built this little deck because over here the sun sets and it's quite nice to look at. Oh yeah, and that was quite interesting. A few years ago, I came across the construction of geodomes, like these igloos, if you want, so made from triangles. And I was fascinated by them, and I wanted to build my own one. And usually, very often, these structures work as greenhouses. So I started building my own greenhouse here. It was here in the middle, created kind of a garden concept for it. And that didn't quite work so well. I had to take it down, so gained experience. But that was the first structure, if you want, so that I built on this place. I think there's a video of it too. Yeah, now we see a tiny house here, which I started building on the other side of the shed with the intention to just build it and then move it as it's movable to a place that is close to a shared home, a shared farm, if you want, so where I can connect to. Bring my own space, but be connected to a group of people, community. I haven't found a place yet, and then recently I decided to just put it on a nicer place on the property, which is this one, and it's beautiful. But sadly, a few months ago, I got notice that it's not legally okay to do that. It's been kind of accepted, but someone thinks it's not cool, which I don't understand. I don't know who it is. It's just very sad and makes me angry that I create a lifestyle that I think is in tune with nature and I'm not harming anyone, but it's not legal. I don't have the right to do so, and makes me question a lot of things, honestly. What is the law and regulations based on in this country that I live in, that I grew up in? And yeah, I think we need more spaces where creating creative solutions like this is easier and has a room for it. It's very annoying to have this feeling of you have to fight for something that you see and know is just good in a way. At least if you think differently, tell me what's wrong, then we can have a chat about it, you know. But this is just like, it feels like just being cut down because it's different, and that is a very sad feeling, especially growing up here. I just have the thought of, hey, we have land. I'm privileged enough to have land from my family that I can live on, but it's not, and then I have the skills to build my own home, and I want to do so, but it's not legal to do and to live simply. And I'm like, why is this like that? It is a basic human need, and makes me question things, yeah. I guess the biggest challenge is to get support from not only people but also authorities, or at least space to create things, and financially for sure. Like, what I want to build is big, and that needs a lot of financial resources also, not just good knowledge and people, and that's something I don't bring myself, and I'm kind of reliable on an outside source to bring in this kind of resource if they think the project's good. Yeah. This one has a time limit to it. It's been a very nice place to live in, and I will enjoy it to the max until it's over. So in a few months, at the end of the summer, it's gonna have to go, and I'm looking for someone to take care of it and appreciate it in the same way I do it. And I'm very curious what place it's gonna find, where it's gonna be in the future. I've kind of stepped away out into the world from where I'm from. I wanted to go away and experience something different. Then I returned, and it took quite a while to reach the point of, hey, this is actually nice here, and I want to put roots in here. And that happened not too long ago, and it was a good feeling. And now this kind of, force from the outside is challenging that, and kind of, again, it feels like being thrown out. And I just actually go with that and see what happens. So I'm gonna have some distance from this place. It's gonna have a breather, if you want so. And yeah, I'm very curious how this is gonna change the energy of this place, the flow of this place, as I'm going to study architecture in Liechtenstein, which might be very good to have as a skill in terms of the long vision, long perspective of this place. So yeah, the house itself, the structure of it, it's not on a car trailer like many tiny homes. It's on a truck platform, on a container platform. You know, these containers with the 4 legs, they're sometimes standing on, and trucks just go beneath and pick them up. That's the base. And on top there's a wooden house, a timber framing house. And the great thing is, instead of being limited with weight on a car trailer, which is in Germany 3.5 tons, everything, on this you can load another 14 tons, so you don't have to think about weight when you're building, which is great. Which allowed me to put bricks in there and clay and everything, all these nice materials you wouldn't think of putting into your tiny home if you have a car trailer. So yeah, I've worked with natural materials as far as it's possible. I see it in a way that you have a spirit, a soul, whatever. This is you, and then you have the first shell. This is your body. You're taking care of your body too, usually, by eating good food and exercising. And the home is just the next shell. And also this is affecting your health, your overall well-being. So this is one aspect. And the other is, if you actually build and put your hands onto the materials, you get a feeling very quickly what feels good and what doesn't feel good, what feels natural and what doesn't. The smell. Your body knows. Working with clay, your body knows this is good. When you're working with concrete, you're touching concrete, this is not your body saying, oh, this feels nice, you know? And it was important to be movable, so this needs a crane to be lifted, but it is movable. We've moved it here. And this is a very easy foundation solution. It's on screws, ground screws, which is very nice because once it's lifted away, you just unscrew them and you've earth back. You don't have concrete foundation you have to destroy again. So this was a easy, cheap, functional solution, and it works. It's 15.4 square meters inside, and you'd be surprised how much quality of living you could get in such a small space if you are smart about the room and how to arrange things. So that was quite a nice challenge also, to see how can I make this small space to get the max out of living quality. Yeah. I think it would be nice to talk about Workaway also. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how we connected in the first place. You found my project on Workaway, and the reason I am on Workaway as a host is because I've been traveling and volunteering myself throughout the world, and I love the experience, and I also love now the role of being a host and share this project and this place with people, because down here I'm working on my own, I'm living on my own. This is a lot of me time, which is great, but also I'm longing to live in community. So the initial idea was to put this close to a community. And with Workaway, I can invite people and kind of create a short-term moving community, if you want so, around building, about living simply. And it's been a great experience so far. I've loved it. And there's been a huge tent over here in the past as a guest accommodation. Now we have the caravan, which is great, but it's its own project too. So if you want to come, it's also part of a project that you're living in. And the thing is, when I share this place and my everyday life with people, I can much more enjoy it, actually. When I'm on my own, I'm in my ruts and I'm constantly hustling, sort of, or just being inside and not very motivated. But if people are around, we can just have a good time, go to the lake, take breaks, and take it easy, and that's beautiful. Over there are 2 apple trees, but they haven't had any fruit yet. I think they're like 7, 8, 9 years old, but for some reason they're not thriving too much. Over here you see 2 kinds of compost. This is the compost from household and also the compost toilet. I mixed that, and this is more the green stuff and ash. So this is more carbon, high in carbon. And depending on the plant, I'm not an expert, but I think some plants need more carbon and some need more other nutrients. I can mix it the way it needs to be mixed. And on plants like tomatoes, this is great. They need lots of nutrients, and this is just gold for tomatoes, for example. Should we have a look at the compost toilet?
Sounds good.
Some people think it's annoying to have the toilet outside of your home, and I agree. In winter, and I think as a woman especially, it can be annoying, but at the same time it's something that forces you to go outside regularly, and this is something I love. I'm forced to step outside and connect with life around me. I cannot just stay inside. So whatever weather, whether it's freezing, whether it's stormy, you have to go outside. And it's uncomfortable, yes, but also in a way enlivening. And what's important to me is that we keep things as, leave things to the natural flow as much as possible. So we do mow here sometimes, but not like every few weeks. And also we're not mowing it with heavy machinery too often, maybe once a year. So the ground can still be soft, and as you can see, the moles, they just love this place because it's not as compacted, the soil. It's still good for them to dig. We have actually quite a few animals roaming around on the property, living on the property. One is a beaver. That's why we have these metal fences around the trees sometimes. He lives on the dam of this small pond where the fish are in. Just down there, and he's roaming through the forest and the lakes and creeks around. The building master. And also this creature, I'm like, the fishermen are not happy about him being here, and they see him as harm because he's chewing on trees and they fall over, and the trees are potentially, firewood or whatever. And I'm like, hey, this is his home. This is where he lives, and let's see what he creates if we just leave him. And this is this way of co-creation I want to support. Like, yes, I'm here, but I'm not here alone. There's the beaver, there's other animals. So everyone should be able to coexist. If we manage to live in a way that we can coexist, this is great. This is all we need. Very simple. It's basically a toilet seat on top of a big bucket. And instead of water, you just put in sawdust or whatever you did in there. And this is separating poo from pee. It's called like a dry composting toilet or something. So the poo with the sawdust, I will, after it's full, dump in a hole, let it sit there for a year, and then mix it with the compost. Then it's processed enough to be put into plants. Yeah. And back here, we collect the pee, and if you dilute that in water, I think ratio 1:10, it's perfect to water plants. So lots of nutrients that can be used. I'm just now thinking, why do I have a compost toilet now when I have not grown up with it and have not learned about it in school or something? Through traveling, I've come across people and communities that use them, and I found it works and it makes sense. So it needs places where you can make a different experience from what you know. It's not just knowledge, yes, it works, blah, blah, blah. Someone tells you and it's a concept, but to experience it is helping you understand it on a deeper level. So this is also what I intend to do with my pedagogical work, which is experience-based. I want people to experience something and from that make their own conclusions. And the property ends at the end of this channel. And this is basically just untouched. And here I've created a little sanctuary. friends who've just visited and stayed overnight have left this kind of gift to this place. They've done yoga or their morning routine here. That's very sweet of them. Yeah, so this has been multiple use platform. Intentionally, it was created to be the base of a tiny home in this shape, which I still would love to create one day. Then I lived on a tent on it for a few weeks in summer, or it was just like a summer base. And now it's here in the forest as yoga, hangouts, chill platform, which is very lovely because if the sewage machines over there of the milk processing company are not working, are not producing any disturbing noises, it's very, very lovely here with just natural sounds, flowing water, being amongst trees. And when it's quiet, this is my favorite hangout spot too. Just wind down, relax, let the soul rest, and yeah, that's where I can gain a lot of energy and recover. So yeah, ideally from the sawmill idea of your own home building place, we create a few different examples of natural small homes which will be on property and can be experienced, can be a model to other people. Just, okay, you can have a yurt, you can have a timber frame house, you can have it with clay, you can have it in the earth, you can have a geodome. Just offer inspiration to touch, inspiration to experience. This is what I would love this place to also offer, not just a building place, but an experience place. But that's like a long shot, and it needs lots of legal work, which I'm happy my neighbor is also in the same direction. He also wants to have tiny house on his farm property. So things are moving, but slowly, and that's something I have had to learn, that it takes time. I was very impatient, I still am a bit, but these things just take time. Yes, that if there is something calling you, if you feel like you are pulled towards something that is calling you, to listen to that and to give it space. It doesn't have to be an immediate reaction, you don't have to act immediately, but it's like listening to life calling you.